Hey guys, what is going on? Anthony here with Pistons Talk. Hope you guys are having a great day so far. In today's video, what I wanted to do was react to this Bleacher Report trade that was proposed a couple of days ago. Now, it is a player that you guys love. A lot of people in Michigan and Pistons fans absolutely love this guy. We're going to react to the trade first. Then we're going to be looking at what a potential starting five would look like if the Pistons were to pull the trigger on a trade like this. Look at his contract. And to end the video, I'll kind of give you guys just my overall thoughts with this trade, if I think it's a possibility, and anything else I feel like rambling on about. You never know. Sometimes I just, go down rabbit holes and go down tangents. But let's get into today's video. Let's go. So this is the trade Bleacher Report had proposed between the Detroit Pistons and the Phoenix Suns. So this is a trade that I think some people are going to absolutely love because it's Devin Booker. But other people, I think, as they go down what is proposed, they may not like it. Let me move myself out of the way a little bit, get my big ass head out the way so you can see it. So it would be Tobias Harris, Ron Holland II, Jaden Ivey, and not one, not two, not three, but four, let me repeat that, four first-round picks to the Phoenix Suns in exchange for Michigan native, Grand Rapids native, Devin Booker. Whew. Man, I got a lot of thoughts on this. I'm sure you guys do too. So I think we can all agree that the season that the Detroit Pistons had was an incredible season. But if we watch the playoffs, we watched what the Pistons went through, especially in the half court. They were definitely missing a secondary option. I thought Tobias Harris, Tim Hardaway Jr., and others tried to step up into that secondary option with Cade in the New York Knicks series. I think adding a guy like a Devin Booker, especially in half-court sets, would really be fun to watch as a Piston fan. But when I'm looking at this trade, it's a lot. Like, it's definitely a lot. Obviously, you're going to throw a Tobias in this trade to make the money work because Tobias is on a bigger contract. Not as big as Devin Booker. We're going to get into how much money he's actually owed by the Phoenix Suns. I think Ron Holland would be an intriguing piece for the Suns for the fact that during his rookie season, he showed day one, he's about that life, he's fearless. I think his first fight in the preseason was actually against the Phoenix Suns with Royce O'Neal, kind of just diving for a loose ball. Like, this kind of shows you how fearless and how tough-nosed, Ron Holland II is. But I think Phoenix would be intrigued with a prospect that has possibly two-way potential and is just a spark plug right now for the Detroit Pistons off the bench. So, adding a guy like a Ron in this deal would probably spark the Phoenix Suns' interest. I mean, they've had wings before that they developed, Cam Johnson, Mikal Bridges. So maybe they would be interested in a Ron Holland in this deal. Now, I think the player that might, it's going to go 50-50 because this guy is just so polarizing amongst Detroit Pistons fans. Jaden Ivey, I feel like some people like myself, I'm very high on Jaden Ivey, and I will not hide that. You guys know that. But there are other people in the community that just aren't really sold on him. They don't really know if he's going to be that number two option, Cade Cunningham's backcourt mate for the foreseeable future, because the sample size that we've had over the past couple of seasons, there have been injuries in the way, or there have been just coaching malpractice where Killian Hayes starts over Jaden Ivey. I'm not going to go down the Monty train today. I promise you. I'm not going to do it. But Jaden Ivey being in this deal for Phoenix, if they're trading away a shooting guard to the Pistons, they probably want one back in return. And Jaden Ivey is a combo guard that has some potential. Could he possibly turn into an average or an above average three-point shooter? Shot 40% from three on pretty good volume this year. Granted, it was only 30 games, but Jaden Ivey looked like he was starting to turn a corner with the Detroit Pistons. And obviously, the first-round picks, I think this is where I think a lot of people are going to draw a line in the sand. Now, if this was an offer with all these players involved, and maybe it's 2 second-round picks, I think most of us would be like, yeah, I'd probably make that trade. You could talk me into 3. Like, you honestly could. Like, if you said, hey, Tobias, Ron, Jaden, in 3 first for Devin Booker, I'd have to think about it at least. I think with the 4, it kind of gets a little dicey because with the Stepien rule, you can't trade back-to-back first-round picks. You'd have to spread these out. So let's just say hypothetically, it's 2025, can't trade that one. That's going to Minnesota. So let's say you do 26, 28, 30, 32. That's a lot if you think about it, especially with where this team is at. They just got out of the basement. They're, having fun. They're upstairs partying with the rest of the Eastern Conference right now. So kind of trading away for future first, and you don't really know what's going to happen with the future of this team. It's a really, really big risk. But the reward may be worth the risk if you're getting a backcourt mate in a certified bucket in Devin Booker. But that's kind of like what the trade was. Obviously, I think it is quite a bit to trade for a guy like a Devin Booker, but you also have to remember there have been trades where, like Rudy Gobert, he was traded for multiple firsts with the Utah Jazz and the Minnesota Timberwolves, and the Timberwolves might make consecutive Western Conference Finals if they take care of the Golden State Warriors. So I think that's something that you also have to look at. In terms of like what a starting 5 could look like, I went and kind of made it for you guys so we can look at it and see. So this is what a starting 5 could possibly look like. Let me actually make myself smaller so I'm not taking up the whole screen on Jalen Duren. So I'm really small right now. Hopefully you guys can still see me. But a starting 5 with a Devin Booker would be a Cade Cunningham at point, Booker at shooting guard, Asar Thompson small forward, obviously. Now the power forward position, I think I will let you guys debate. You could throw Tech in there. You could throw Stu in there. You could throw Bobby Klippman in there. Maybe you really want to just go all in on Bobby, and that could be it. They could also sign someone in free agency as well. But just for the purpose of this video, I put Simone Fontecchio in there, and obviously Jalen Duren at center. So the starting 5 really doesn't change too drastically. Obviously, you're adding a star, one of the best shooting guards in the game, and Devin Booker next to Cade Cunningham. And when I look at the starting 5, it's fun. Like, you still have Asar, who's going to be that Swiss Army knife out there. He can pass, he can defend, he can switch, play multiple positions. Cade is going to have a guy that he can really lean on, and vice versa. Book can, pass it to Cade in ISO situations. Both of these guys can pass, dribble, shoot. And then you have Jalen Duren, who I think really impressed me, not only in the playoffs, but the last 60 or so games of the season, where he started to really lock in, catching lobs. His passing, I think, is very underrated. Doesn't get talked about enough with the fan base. But a starting 5 like this could actually be quite a bit of fun. Now, this is where it kind of gets debatable. And when we're talking about just in terms of contracts with Booker. Now, his contract is pretty hefty, if I'm being honest with you guys. Now, I'm going to make myself a little bigger so you guys can see me a little bit. So, Booker signed a deal with the Suns, and it was over $220 million, an average annual salary of $55 million per year. So he's owed 53 going into next season, 57 in 26-27, and 61 in 27-28, and then he's a UFA when he's 32 at 28-29. I think when we talk about making that next big move, when you want superstars, all-stars, like a Booker, like whoever, Lauri Markkanen, I'm even seeing Pistons fans talk about Giannis, which that's unrealistic, but you have to pay the price. Booker is on a big deal because he's one of the better, if not top 5 shooting guards in the game of basketball right now. He's a guy that can get you 30 in his sleep. He's a pretty good passer. The only knock on him really is, defense, but that's what you have Asar Thompson for. You can switch everything. You can kind of hide Booker in that sense. Same with Cade. Cade can kind of, pick up where Booker doesn't have those strengths defensively. I think when you look at the contract, it's quite a bit. And what would happen, hypothetically, if you were to make this trade is you're a team that has operated under the cap during this rebuild and within this new CBA. You actually had the cheapest cap space amongst all NBA teams. You would be an over-the-cap team. Not only would you be an over-the-cap team, you'd go into the aprons because you're taking on $53 million and then 57 and then 61. And Cade's rookie max goes into effect. If he makes All-NBA, he goes into the 40s. And you still got Stu on the roster who's making $15 million. And then you have rookie deals you kind of have to decide on. Like, are you going to extend Duren? Or what are you going to give him? So I think cap flexibility-wise, it would definitely be challenging for the Detroit Pistons to fill out a roster and a bench. But if you think the risk for a Devin Booker is worth it, if you think going out and getting a Book next to Cade Cunningham can really propel you up the Eastern Conference standings, it could put you in conversations with Cleveland, put you in conversations with New York, Indiana. Don't know what happens with Boston next year with Tatum's injury. They might have a down year. But if you think making a big splash can put you in a top 4 in the East, I think you have to at least consider it. Now, the draft picks are the draft picks. I'm not going to really say that it's a 100% no-brainer move. I think I would kind of be cautious with the draft picks because I don't really know what could happen with the future of this team. Like, this team could either take huge steps in development. They're a 50-win team, and they're a Eastern Conference favorite. Like, they really could. And if you make a move like this, maybe it kind of solidifies that. But it could also backfire. Players could regress, and you could go from a 44-win team to a 38-win team. Players could take, less of a step in development that you want. You might not have all the bench pieces that you like. This season, what I really liked about this team is when the starters weren't feeling it, our bench came in and gave us a spark. Ron gave us a spark. Tim Hardaway Jr., Malik Beasley, Jaden Ivey when he was healthy. Obviously, the Pistons weren't a 500 basketball team when Ivey played his 30 games, but they were starting to figure it out and play some pretty good basketball, especially after that West Coast trip. But just my final verdict with this Booker trade, I would be interested in Booker, but I think where I kind of draw the line in the sand is the draft picks. I think 4 is quite a bit. I think it's kind of an overpay, in my personal opinion. But Phoenix is a team where I have questions. There's been smoke about Kevin Durant. There's been trade rumors about Bradley Beal. Booker has said that he likes Phoenix. He wants to stay there. He might be a lifer. He really could. He could finish his career in Phoenix and maybe never win an NBA championship. There's some guys like that just play for one organization their entire career. It's really rare nowadays, especially with how cap space is and this new CBA that's not really, keeping your team together friendly. But I think as people that live in Michigan, as Pistons fans, we've always kind of advocated going after a Devin Booker. And I get it. I understand it. Him and Cade in the backcourt would just be so much fun to watch. Those two could easily average 50, 60 points a night just by themselves. But let me know what you guys think of this trade from Bleacher Report. Do you like it? Would you tweak it a little bit? Are there certain players in there that maybe you would rather offer? Are the draft picks too much? You think 4 first for a Devin Booker is too much? Let me know down below in the comment section. I will talk to you guys down there. Like always, hope you guys are having a great day. Stay safe. And as always, go Pistons. Peace.